The next control structure in Python is a loop control structure. As the name is suggesting, here some instruction sets in the program executes repetitively again and again and again. Based on the truth value of the condition, this repetition happens. If the condition is evaluated to true, the instruction set is execute repetitively. If the condition is false, then the repetitive execution is stopped, that is, the loop is broken, and the rest of the program is executed. A simple real world situation will help understanding the scenario. Look at the picture in the right hand side of the slide. This is assume that you are in a track and field race competition and the race will end after the lap 4. So as a competitor, what will you do? You will start from lap 0. Then you will start running. And in the end of every lap, you have to increment the lap count to keep track of the lap. That is how many lap you have finished, right? So it's like you started from lap 0. After the end of the lap, you incremented the lap from 0 to 1. Then after the end of the next lap, you incremented it from 1 to 2. Then after the end of the next lap, you incremented it from 2 to 3. Then after the end of the next lap, you incremented it from 3 to 4. And you have to run until the lap count is 4. In this way, once the lap count is equal to 4, you are sure that the race is end, and so you broke the race and go straight, and your race is finished, means the loop is broken. The code in the middle of this slide is an exact representation of this situation. Here, the lap count I have started from 0. That is, there is a lap variable which is storing 0 as a value. Now, in order to tell the Python interpreter that you want to start a loop, you have to use a keyword called while. While keyword is always followed by the condition based on which the loop will be executed. It means until this condition is true, the loop will be executed. Here it means so far the value of the lap is less than or equals 4, the loop statement, all the statement written in yellow, will be repetitively executing. And once the lap value will exceed 4, then the loop will be broken and the rest of the program, that is print out of loop, will be executed. Now let us see it in our Google Colab. So here also it is the same example that I have shown earlier. Here again there is a lap that I have started from 0. Sometimes we call this lap variable a loop control variable because based on the value of lap, the Python interpreter decides whether your loop is finished or not. Just like that race, based on the value of lap, you decide whether your race is finished or not. Because of that, it is called loop control variable or simply a loop variable. And here in this line, this is the while keyword. Then while keyword is for, after the while keyword, inside an opening and closing parenthesis, you have to write down the condition. Here I have just written less than 5, where less than 5 and less than equals 4 both are basically same. So what happens here, or just for the sake of convenience, let me just change it to less than equals 4 here. Now after the condition, it is the colon symbol, and then again, just like the if-else statement, you have to put an indentation, and after that you have to write down the instruction that you want to execute if this condition is true. So here, as I have here according to the situation, if the value of the lap is less than or equals 4, you have to run. That is, you have to print run. And remember what the competitor did. By the end of each lap, the competitor incremented the value of lap by 1. So here also the last statement of the loop is an increment to the lap variable, that is lap plus equals 1, or alternatively you can write down lap equals lap plus 1. That is also okay, both are same. So this is a loop. So what happens right now? So if I just run this program, as you can see, it is printing run for several times, and once the loop is broken, it is printing out of loop. So what is happening? How many run will be printed? Let us analyze that. So for that, you need to know about a couple of things. This loop actually has 3 different parts. First, the initialization part, where I have initialized the value of the loop control variable, that is lap here. So I have initialized it with 0, but you can initialize it with any number. The next part is the condition, which is coming inside this parenthesis after the while loop. Here the condition is lap less than equals 4. It basically tells loop while this condition is true. And the final part is a modification part, the modification of the loop control variable. Because if you do not modify the loop control variable, you will be inside the loop forever. For example, if you do not keep track of the race, then you will keep on running and running, right? So this is the meaning of so that is why the modification is required. So now let us try to understand what is happening. How many run will be printed and how you can calculate it. So the initialize, so lap value is initialized to 0. So here the first time when it will encounter this condition, this lap less than equals 4. So what will happen? It will basically check whether 0 is less than or equals 4 or not. Well, of course, 0 is less than 4. So it is true. So it will go inside this while and print run for the first time. After that, in this modification line, what it will do is it will simply modify the value of lap from 0 to 1. Because it is 0 plus 1, so value of lap is now 1. Or let me just explain it a little bit. 0 plus 1 equals 1 now. So now the new value of lap is 1. Now because of this while loop, from here it will again go to the first line and it will again check with the new value of the lap. The condition will be checked with the new value of the lap. Means whether 1 is less than or equals 4 or not. Well, of course, it is also true. 1 is less than 4. So it will go inside this while loop and will print run for the next time. And in the end of this loop, it will increment the value of the lap from 1 to 2. Then again from here, now it is repeating, as you can understand. From here again it will go to the first line where it will check whether 2 is less than equals 4 or not. And well, of course 2 is less than 4, so it will print run for the next time and it will increment the lap from 2 to 3. And then again it will come to the first line and it will check 3 is less than equals 4. Well, of course it is true, so run is printed and it will print the run for the next time and it will increment to 3 plus 1 is 4. And after it is 4, Then again it will go to the first line where it will check whether 4 is less than equals 4. Remember the comparison operator, 4 less than equals 4. It is true because both the values, it is either less than or equals 4. So both the values are same. So this is again true. So it will go inside this loop for the last time and will print run here. And after that again it will increment the value from 4 to 5 like this. And after it incremented the value from to 5, remember, it does not break the loop right now. It again go to the first line. In the first line, it again check whether the value of the loop control variable, that is lap, now is the condition is true or not. So whether 5 is less than or equals 4, whether it is true or not. Now it is false, and that's when the loop is broken and it come out of the loop and prints the last line out of the loop and the program ends. So remember one thing, loop is not broken in the last line. Rather, it checks the condition in the first line, and then based on the false or true value of the false value of the condition, the loop is broken. So that's about the while loop in Python.